We're about to have the handshakes between the two captains now. Troy Deeney, of course, the captain of Watford, and Chris Smalling is the captain of Manchester United for this game. Their third choice captain, of course, with Wayne Rooney out with that virus, and also Michael Carrick out with the injury sustained in the first of the two England friendly internationals in Alicante last Friday. But Carrick could be back for the upcoming Champions League match against PSV Eindhoven, which you can hear on 5 Live during the week. So Smalling is the captain of Manchester United in this game. Memphis Depay, as David Pleat was just mentioning, will probably be leading the forward line wearing number 7, his first appearance since October the 4th in the starting 11. And Louis van Gaal has been talking a lot about delegation in the last few days. He gave that big newspaper interview where he talked about delegation, and he's delegated responsibility to Memphis Depay to maybe start delivering the goods for Manchester United after a slow start to his career at Old Trafford. We're just running through the two teams over the loudspeaker. I'll give them to you in full in just a moment or so, but right now we're about to gather around the ground to remember the tragic events in Paris. So much has happened since the Premier League was last in action. Global events that have shocked so many, events that have cost lives, events that have touched on the world of football. We had those moving scenes at Wembley on Tuesday, and now the Marseillaise here. Yes, the players of Watford and Manchester United stood intermingled, arms around one another, red shirts and yellow shirts together, facing towards the main Graham Taylor stand on the far side, as we remember victims of Paris, and of course we spare a thought too for those of all nationalities caught up in recent atrocities. 72 French players are registered in the Premier League, more than any other foreign contingent. And of course we have one or two involved in this game, and Alain Neon, the Cameroon international who plays right back for Watford. He was born himself in Paris. So we're about to kick off. Watford, the Hornets, the Golden Boys will be playing in this first half towards the Rookery end, where the more fanatical of the Watford supporters are housed. They're all pretty fanatical around here these days, with Watford having emerged from the Championship in such spectacular style and also making noises at Premier League level. So far 12 matches played, 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats, 8 points clear of the relegation zone, where most people thought they would be perhaps loitering at this part of the season. The referee is Bobby Madley, and Manchester United with 4 changes, and of course those major absentees in forward positions. We've mentioned Rooney and Martial, also Fellaini not available. He's the regular plan B. They've not been able to use him. James Wilson isn't in the squad either, so resources certainly stretched as we await the first whistle here in the Hertfordshire sunshine, and it's Watford in possession with a former Manchester United player, Craig Cathcart, and now it's Britos who fires it forward into the United half. It's returned by Schweinsteiger, the German wearing gloves. You can't blame him with these bitter temperatures and a biting chilly wind as well. Anya for Watford gives the ball to Britos on the near side, and the Uruguayan clears up towards the halfway line. The wind will be a little bit troublesome as well. Here's Troy Deeney losing the ball in the centre circle, and it's Memphis for Manchester United looking for Ander Herrera, but Anya is across smartly. Ikichi Anya is playing, as we suspected, in the left back position. having played quite a bit wide on the right-hand side in recent games. Manchester United on the attack on the edge of the penalty area with Jesse Lingard. He's looking for Herrera, but he's muscled off the ball, but it's a loose clearance by Watford, and here's Ashley Young against his former club to the edge of the area, wide to Mata. In comes a cross right across the face of the Watford goal and out to the far side. It'll be kept in play, and here's Schweinsteiger. They want him to shoot. The Manchester United supporters behind that goal that United are attacking, but the pass goes astray in the end. Maybe he should have shot. It's gone behind for a Watford goal kick. Watford under a little bit of early pressure, and a couple of their clearances, David, not the best.
Yeah, Schweinsteiger there hoping that the player from Mata would have gone on the inside of Anya for that little through ball. It goes out behind the byline there, and a promising United position is foiled, but already we see how Watford are going to play, which is important. Abdi and Arado are going to play in the wide positions. Arado on the left, Abdi, who's very talented, he's starting on the right hand side, and of course in the centre, unlike a lot of teams, Watford playing with two strikers, Deeney and Igalo. When the ball breaks, Igalo will try and just drop a little bit deeper, but as a pair, as a twosome, they are as effective as any pair in the Premier Division.
Manchester United have lost it there. The ball is floated high to the edge of their penalty area. Troy Deeney is in there competing in the air, Alman Abdi as well, but it will bounce freely for Manchester United to clear on the volley through Ashley Young. It's headed on now towards Lingard. Behind him now, thrusting forward in possession for Manchester United is Schneidlin, and now Mata strokes an elegant ball out to Daley Blind, who's playing at left back for Manchester United in this game. They've gone for Smalling and Jones as the centre backs. Rojo misses out, Blind at left back, Ashley Young staying at right back, and Smalling and Jones in there as a pair. A tougher, bigger pair than perhaps it is when it's Smalling and Blind to contest things with Igalo and also Troy Deeney.
Yeah, Jones looks as though he's physically filled out since his move a few seasons ago from the Blackburn Rovers, because he was a very young player then, but the two centre-backs really have shown a great maturity for Manchester United. Important positions, of course, the heart of the defence. They've done excellent away from home. We just watched this attack developing with Lingard.
It's Schweinsteiger out to Memphis Depay. Memphis on the edge of the area, curls one across towards the back post looking for Mata, headed away by Anya, drops to the edge of the box and under Herrera, and that's a loose clearance now by Neom, and the ball lobs up onto the roof of his own net. That could have swirled anywhere in this troublesome wind. He's full of apologies there, the Watford right back Neom. Aurelio Gomez was staring up into the sky, wondering where that ball was going to drop. It's on the roof of the net. It is a Manchester United corner.
Yeah, most embarrassing that could have been. It was a wild type of clearance with his left foot. It just swerved high into the air and over and landed on the top netting of Gomez's goal. But corner, United take two men out there. Watford have two out. So therefore United will probably opt for the longer ball into the box.
Yes, it will be delivered into the near post. It takes a wicked deflection across there, and Troy Deeney has to help out with a defensive header from inside his own 6-yard box. It remains 0-0 on 5 Live from the BBC. Watford 0, Manchester United 0. The return of the Barclays Premier League after its 2-week break for the international matches. Manchester United with a chance to go to the top of the table. And of course they're by the second extending their defensive record of having not conceded in 555 minutes. Make that 559. That's been the bedrock of Manchester United's high position in the table, because they haven't been scoring enough goals.
No, they've scored 8 in the 6 away games, which isn't really a total that...
well, 3 of those at Everton.
Yes, and it isn't a total that you would expect of a team that's prospective champions. I'm saying that because another 3 or 4 clubs would have a say in that, of course. But I think United this year will expect, I'm sure the directors will expect, certainly to be in a Champions League place again. And that would be the least of the expectations from Old Trafford.
Are you counting them in as possible champions, David?
Well, everyone at this moment in time has a chance. I mean, you can't rule them out. I mean, the only big club that has probably given themselves a mountain to climb is Chelsea. Everyone else has a chance.
And this today is
everyone else. I mean, by Liverpool and Manchester, the 2 Manchester clubs, yeah. Arsenal, and of course Tottenham.
This today, though, is a bit of a strength in depth challenge, isn't it, for Manchester United with those absentees?
Well, with their huge resources, that should not be a problem to be 3 or 4 players short. But it's a problem sometimes tactically, how he makes the team work effectively. You know, they are lacking what I call attractive wide players who can get past people. Interesting to see, of course, Ashley Young, who played all his football here from a wide position. He was very much a winger before his days at Old Trafford. He's had a very, very good career. He's playing as a wing back today. He's very well forward. Well, if you play with the 2 holding mid players like Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger, then your fullbacks can get well forward. And it's Ashley Young who plays that ball forward.
Yeah, to Lingard.
And Lingard just gets intercepted, and Anya's going to take a free kick.
He raised his boot there a little, Jesse Lingard. Lingard certainly thriving on his recent opportunities for Manchester United, and of course he earned that England call-up, although he was only on the bench at Wembley during the week. Watford have made one change coming to this match, by the way, which is why we've got Anya playing at left-back. It's to accommodate the return in midfield of Jurado, who's been out injured for 5 weeks, the former Spartak Moscow player, the Spaniard, one of the marquee signings during the summer for Watford. The ball is back with De Gea in the Manchester United goal. He has to be careful because the wind is against him as he clears down the far side. Memphis tangling with Neom. Neom's recovered from his earlier accident and he finds Cathcart, and now Capoue in midfield, and Ben Watson's dropped very deep, and it's back to Aurelio Gomez, who'll be hoping for a better time in goal than he had in his previous game when he was embarrassed a couple of times, shall we say, against Leicester City, and conceded that penalty which was struck away by Jamie Vardy, who might well be chasing his 10th consecutive Premier League match in which he scored, if he's fit enough to play at Newcastle in one of our 3 o'clock games. Here's Igalo for Watford, fresh from Nigerian duty. The tackle comes battering in from Schneiderlin. He's done well, and he finds Juan Mata. Mata up to the halfway line, rolls it to Ashley Young in that prominent position right in front of us in the sunny part of the stadium. He runs up the near touchline, under Herrera's wide if needed, but Young takes it on himself, and then across to nobody at all at the far post. That was a complete waste. Not too sure what he was trying to do there, David.
No, he had space, Ashley Young. He saw the space and quickly went with the ball into that area, but then his cross was fierce but too far away from Gomez's goal. I think it's interesting to see how Cathcart plays today. They tell me he started the season very well, an ex-Manchester United player, of course, at the back for Watford. So important that your defenders are strong when you first come into the Premiership. But Watford have got a really good early season record, you know, an equal record, 2-2-2, 1-2 drawn 2, lost 2 away from home, and the same equal record at home as away, 1-2 drawn 2 and lost 2. So they've coped with the Premiership so far. They're in a nice halfway position, and they will be hoping today to take advantage of the fact that United are short of 1 or 2 regular players.
And of those 4 defeats suffered by Watford, 3 of them have come against teams currently the top 3 in the table. And now they're playing Manchester United, who started the day 4th in the table. So Watford haven't lost to any of the teams in the bottom half. It's a throw-in on the near side for Watford. Progressive position. Anya takes it towards the dead ball line. Troy Deeney is in there competing. It's toe-ended away by him, out for a Manchester United throw. Troy Deeney, very interesting character, of course, the Watford captain. Did spend some time in prison 3 years ago. He served 3 months for a fray. Very much reformed since then. And as a promise to 6 of the inmates who he was in prison with those years ago, he has given them tickets to watch Watford against Manchester United. They've had to wait a while for this fixture to emerge, Watford against Manchester United, but those friends of Troy Deeney, as they are now, are here watching the game.
Well, since he's played at Watford, I assure you, he's been he is the captain of the team. He's a very strong character. He's really approached his responsibilities with a proper sense of justice towards his colleagues, and he'll be wanting to do well today, Troy Deeney. It's a big test for him to play against 2 top-class young centre-backs.
Well, here's Ashley Young for Manchester United, plays it forward towards Herrera, whose touch wasn't the best, but Watford failed to clear properly. That's been a theme of the early stages, and now Manchester United make an error. The wind is troubling the players out there. The playing surface, though, looks absolutely majestic here at Vicarage Road. And here is Schneidlin tapping the ball infield to Ander Herrera for Manchester United. Slips it to the edge of the area. Lingard back to Herrera. 30 yards out under pressure from Watson. Slips it wide to Young, who's overlapping on the right-hand side. Level of the penalty area. In comes across from Herrera, and it's volleyed into the roof of the net by Memphis. It's a goal for Manchester United. The Dutchman answers his critics with a very clever finish from close range. A deft touch into the roof of the net. It's only his second Premier League goal for Manchester United, and Memphis makes it Watford 0, Manchester United 1.
It was a comfortable goal. The cross wasn't challenged by the Watford players as Depay came in, and he just side-footed it on the volley past Gomez. Gomez had no chance. The ball was swinging away from him. It was a clean ball in across the face of the goal. No offside decision. Good movement by Depay, and it was his left foot on the edge of the 6-yard box that guided that ball into the top of the net past Gomez. Watford static, United ecstatic.
Yeah, 1-0 to Manchester United as things stand. They'll be moving above the 3 teams who started above them in the table, and they will be top. Hull City are already top in the Championship on goal difference. They're away at Bristol City. A 12:30 kickoff that was. Let's get the latest from Simon Mann.
25 minutes gone, rather cagey start. It's 0-0, Bristol City not overcommitting. Hull looking to pass their way through. Codger for Bristol City volleyed wide early on. Freeman's fierce free kick tipped over by Alan McGregor. That was a decent save for Hull. Diarmi's shot deflected wide, and then Dawson shot over from the resulting corner. It's Bristol City 0, Hull 0.
Thank you, Simon. We'll keep you right up to date with that, of course, and don't forget at 3 o'clock we're at Stamford Bridge for full match commentary here on 5 Live. Chelsea against Norwich City. Both teams needing a win, I think it's fair to say. 15th and 16th in the table, but all eyes, of course, on Chelsea after 3 consecutive Premier League defeats. Throw in on the far side then for Manchester United, who have struck early on here. The goal coming in the 11th minute for Memphis. And to paraphrase what Louis van Gaal was saying, he needed to stand up and be counted. He's been too inconsistent for the manager's liking. And there he was in just the right place. He could easily have strayed offside. It was good mature movement really from Memphis to step back, make sure he was onside as the cross was delivered, and then rediscover the space to dispatch the ball into the net.
Yeah, there was certainly in the first 12 minutes or so, United have been the better team. They've moved the ball more freely. They played most of the football in the Watford half. Watford so far really only a couple of isolated attacks. They haven't really got Dini or Igalo, the 2 front players in the game. And maybe the goal was deserved, but they were certainly on top, and Memphis did take the goal well, and that will do tremendous things for his confidence. He will seize the opportunity perhaps today now to really stake his claim. He has been erratic. I think the manager, Ian's just mentioned, has mentioned that so far he hasn't stepped up to the plate, but big opportunity for him today.
Well, maybe the words of David Beckham have resonated with him a little bit. Memphis, of course, wears the famous number 7 for Manchester United, and Beckham said it should be an inspiration, not a burden. So Memphis has scored. He's up front, Herrera in behind him, Mata and Lingard, the wide players. That's how Manchester United have reshuffled with their injury problems. Schneidlin and Schweinsteiger, the holding players. Young and Blind getting forward from fullback. Jones and Smalling ahead of De Gea. That's the defensive lineup. So Manchester United haven't been breached for a long time. Watford need to do that if they're not to slip to their 5th defeat of the season. Early stages, I know, but it wasn't a very good start to the game from Quique Sanchez-Flores and his team, really. They were making mistakes at the back and eventually punished.
We've just seen a poor ball by Lingard, too far forward for Memphis on that far left-hand touchline. And when Watford had a chance to go forward, Neon, the right back, had played a ball into the box, but like the scourge of so many forwards, unfortunately he also dropped the ball too deep, and the first defender, it didn't clear his head.
Well, Manchester United seeking a 10th consecutive victory over Watford. They haven't lost to them in nearly 30 years. And we're not hearing those cries of attack, attack, attack from the Manchester United supporters just at the moment, because they have seen some attacking, and they've seen a goal from Manchester United. And the 21-year-old Memphis striking for only a second time in the Premier League. He's also got 3 in Europe for United since signing from PSV. Now, Juan Mata was sleeping there in midfield. The ball was just taken off his toe ever so simply, although Watford go backwards via Cathcart to goalkeeper Gomez. He fires up over the halfway line. The wind is nominally behind him, though he didn't get the greatest of distances on it, and Manchester United have it just shy of the centre circle.
Yep.
Here's Ashley Young on the near side, being pressed high by Gerardo, forced into a bit of an error. Yes, he's given the ball away on the halfway line. Lingard tries to make something of it, and at least he's forced a Manchester United throw. David Pleat.
Yeah, interesting to see that when Gomez has had the goal kick or received the ball from his defenders, he's kicked the ball long and high, aiming for Deeney. He hasn't played it, like a lot of the goalkeepers do now, to one of the two centre-backs who split, or kicked it towards the halfway line where one of the full-backs has gone wide. It looks as though Watford may not have the opportunity to build from the back if Lingard, Herrera and indeed Memphis try and pressure early to stop them playing out and may make them kick it long. It may be that Watford like to kick it a little bit longer, but we shall see. But at the moment, Deeney and Ighalo starved of the ball as the triangle of Mata, Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin holds sway in the centre of the field.
Well, there goes my notes, blown away in the breeze into the far distance.
Now this is your shopping list. They've just returned it. 2 packets of soap, is it?
Oh, not chicken thighs again. We have that every night. Here's Britos back to Cathcart on the edge of the centre circle. And all the way back to Gomez, and they're not particularly happy.
And once again, that long kick
Watford
of Gomez.
Fans, yeah. Well, they do retreat back to their goalkeeper quite a bit so that he can kick it long. Here's Anya on the near side for Watford. The Scottish international sold Ben Watson a bit short with that pass. Watson did well to make something of it, and it's hit long by Watford again. That's the long ball syndrome that they have at the moment, which we've seen in the last 10-15 minutes or so of this game, with Manchester United leading by 1-0. Mata to the far side. Good run by Memphis again. Controls it well. Finds Mata just behind him. Memphis wearing gloves. Touches it out wide. In comes the cross. Into the middle towards Lingard. Will it break for Mata? He's struggling to bring the ball under control inside the penalty area, and Watson just whacks it away.
The problem Watford have is if Capoue and Ben Watson can't get on the ball, then Manchester United win that area and they can't get the ball to the front players, and they're going to have to play it long from the back. If they play it long from the back, it looks to me in the early stages that Smalling and Jones have the answers, and they are defending quite well. No wonder United don't concede many, with Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin sitting in those deeper areas. Schneiderlin tends to go forward a little bit more than Schweinsteiger goes forward a little bit more than Schneiderlin, but both of them are very much cautious in their play in that midfield area.
And now we've got the sun in our eyes, David. I didn't expect that when I was driving down the M6 in the hailstones and the hailstorms last night. Gerardo is fouled on the near touchline, is he? Yes, the whistle has been blown by referee Bobby Madley, who sent off players in his last 2 Premier League appointments. A free kick for Watford, just beyond the halfway line. Anya takes it short to Gerardo. Gerardo to Ighalo, who tries to lay it back to Gerardo, but it was Schweinsteiger in there in front of the back 4 in protective mode to get it away for Manchester United, who continue to lead by 1-0 here on 5 Live. Wall-to-wall football for you on 5 Live Sport, really. Today we'll keep you up to date with Bristol City Hull in the Championship. That's still 0-0. Here it's 1-0 to Manchester United at 3 o'clock. The mainstay of our coverage, the commentary will come from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Norwich. Mark Pugac presenting the programme from there. And then at 5:15, here's Ashley Young with the ball into the centre, headed up over the top of his own bar by Britos for a Manchester United corner. At 5:15, El Clasico live on 5 Live from the Bernabeu. Real Madrid against Barcelona. Barcelona starting 3 points clear of their rivals at the top of La Liga. And the big team news issue, of course, is will Lionel Messi return to play for Barcelona in that game? So 5:15 for that. Here, Manchester United take a corner. They take it deep, back out to Ashley Young. Right-footed ball swirled in, headed away by Watson, who's playing very deep. Almost a supplementary centre-back there for Watford. They are playing very deep. And Manchester United had control of the game, but Ashley Young has lost the ball to Capoue. Capoue to Ighalo. He's got control on the edge of the area. He threatens to shoot. He takes it wide on his right foot. The angle was beating him all the time, and he fires it high and wide. Troy Deeney wanted to pull back, Capoue wanted to pull back, but Igalo went for glory, and it's a goal kick.
Well, they were all at sea there, United.
It was Ashley Young lost the ball on the halfway line.
They're all at sea, United, after Ashley Young lost the ball. There was no cover at all. It was a 2v1 situation. Capoue broke away. Igalo had an opportunity. He wanted to delay. He went too wide and made on the angle. All came from a Mamata corner where Ashley Young stumbled.
To be fair, it wasn't the best of initial balls to Igalo from Capoue. It was slightly behind him. The Nigerian couldn't instantly shoot because of that reason, which is why he hesitated, and the moment was lost. But you can hear the Vicarage Road roar around the ground here, with Watford having a chance finally.
Yeah, a quarter of the game gone, and the first time the Hornets were buzzing, the crowd was buzzing anyway, because they saw some life in the yellow-shirted players. So far they've played as though they're slightly in awe of United, scared to get the ball down and start passing the ball, starting to make some patterns, starting to make a few movements. And Ashley Young, for the visitors, has found space on this right-hand side, has been the main attacking player for United, and he crosses the ball very well, he always has done, and he's been able to get one or two crosses in which are quite dangerous for Watford to defend. They have to block this area.
Well, Watford slightly encouraged by that moment of intrigue when Igalo had his opportunity, which he spurned, but Manchester United generally in charge of this game, with a 1-0 advantage and that rock-solid defensive record behind them, and of course David De Gea in outstanding form as well when required. Free kick for Manchester United. Schneidlin takes it across his own half to Chris Smalling, who arguably has been the outstanding centre-back in the Premier League this season. Affectionately known as Mike, of course, and he does get slightly annoyed by that from time to time. Long ball up the near touchline towards Lingard for United. He's controlled it just in from the byline, not the best of passes, didn't read the run of Young, and it's away by Watford, skied away up towards the halfway line. That should be met by Manchester United. Igalo, though, is tangling for it on the halfway line in the yellow and black of Watford, but they have lost it. Here's Mata, couldn't control a short pass, and Capoue is in there for Watford. It's a bit messy. Here's Anya up the near touchline. He finds Gerardo, who used to play for Flores at Atletico Madrid. Incidentally, David De Gea, the Manchester United goalkeeper, used to play under Quique Flores as well at Atletico Madrid. Here's Lingard for Manchester United, 30 yards out. Just turning away from goal. Squares it to Schweinsteiger, the German. First-time ball to the far side. And Herrera back to Memphis, the goal scorer. United still leading by 1-0 here at Vicarage Road in the Barclays Premier League on 5 Live from the BBC. Manchester United with a player down injured at the moment. Is it Schneidlin? It might be Herrera. Yeah, Herrera looks as though he needs some treatment, and the physio is on.
And very quickly, Troy Deeney, the captain, comes over to speak to Flores on the touchline. It's been an anemic 23 minutes so far for Watford. They've not really got anything going. Every time the ball has come to Britos, he's just hit it forward, slightly hit and hope balls, easily intercepted by the strength of Jones and Smalling. Schneidlin and Schweinsteiger in control in the centre of the field. We'll just have to see if there's a readjustment here for Herrera. But United certainly in control, and Watford so far not forcing the goalkeeper De Gea to any type of save at all.
Looks like the hamstring, doesn't it, there for Ander Herrera, and he will have to depart. It gives us an opportunity to call in at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Bristol City against Hull City. Simon Mann.
We're in the 38th minute. It's been a tight game. Bristol City 0, Hull 0. Not many chances since you were last with us. Harry Maguire's long-range shot was touched over by the Bristol City goalkeeper Frank Fielding. Michael Dawson has gone off injured. One of 3 Hull players booked. And Dawson off injured, and there could be another one as well. A free kick to Bristol City just on the edge of the penalty area. We'll let the referee sort this one out, but 3 Hull players booked for late challenges. It's 0-0.
Thanks, Simon. We'll keep you up to date with that. Closing in on half-time in that one. Here we play 25 minutes. Watford 0, Manchester United 1. And Ander Herrera has had to go off straight away after suffering that injury. So a little bit of reorganisation from Manchester United.
It looks as though Rojo's gone as a third centre-back. So it's Jones, Smalling and Rojo at the back. Ashley Young as a right wing-back pushed forward. and Daley Blind on the left-hand side, an adaptable player, good left-footed player. He's going to play wideish on the left-hand side going forward. So that's interesting. Tactical change early on. Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger will still be the holding midfield players. Herrera had made a major contribution to the game so far, but of course it's a big blow to Manchester United for another senior player to be dismissed.
Absolutely. We haven't even mentioned Luke Shaw, of course. He's out with that broken leg. There's a goal now at Ashton Gate. Back quickly to Simon Mann.
And it's gone to Bristol City in the 39th minute. I was telling you about that free kick just on the right side of the Hull penalty area. It was played in, Hull couldn't get it away, and Kieran Agard pounced and scored, and that's the first goal Hull have conceded, the leaders, since the 17th of October. They've previously gone 5 games without conceding a goal. It's Bristol City 1, Hull 0.
Thanks, Simon. So a bit of a surprising scoreline there. Here, nobody too surprised that Manchester United lead Watford by 1-0. But Watford were quietly fancying their chances with the Manchester United injuries. We'll talk more about the reshuffle by Louis van Gaal in just a moment, but Manchester United are posing another threat here with a free kick down the left-hand side. It's only a few yards away from the corner flag as they attack. So this will be swept over by Mata, in short to Blind on the edge of the penalty area. And now Rojo high into the box looking for the header on by Schneiderlin, headed away back to Schneiderlin. Watford untidy defending again. Here's an opportunity, and it's slammed over the bar on the volley by Morgan Schneiderlin. And Watford, their own worst enemies, couldn't get the ball away. It just bounced up in the air, and all of a sudden it was there for Schneiderlin to hit.
Well, there's a real mumbo-jumbo of defending there by the Watford players. And Schneiderlin has struck the ball beautifully on the volley, and it just reared over the bar at an angle. Had it been lower, I think Gomez might have had a problem with that one, and it would have put United into a very, very good position. They're certainly on top, but do they need another goal before half-time? They probably will do. I'm sure Watford have more to offer than they've shown so far.
It's been a very flat Watford performance, surprisingly so far. Here's Jones defending for Manchester United under pressure from Deeney. He lobs it into the stand, the Elton John stand on this near side of the ground where we're sighted in the very well modernised commentary box, I should say. Just to commend Watford on that one.
The seats
They've upgraded
heated,
the facilities. The seats aren't heated, but you're used to being a Premier League manager.
Not modernised that much.
Cold day as well. You're just pampered too much. That's your problem. The ball is headed on towards Igala down the left side of the area. The flag's up over on the far side. I can see that now because the sun is beginning to disappear behind some grey clouds.
Behind the hospital. There's a hospital here that overlooks the ground here. And the awful thing that some people say is that if you get put in the hospital, make sure you're on the top floor, Ward 8.
So you can see the match.
You can see the game.
Yes, I'm sure that's always a consideration. We can actually see some people leaning out of the windows there.
I hope they're leaning.
1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I think they're safe enough. As David De Gea takes this...
should be in bed, shouldn't they?
They should be. Maybe they're not patients.
Well, the doctors would be too busy working, I can assure you. They work very, very hard.
I'm a bit worried about where we're going with this one, so we'll concentrate on the football. It's Deeney down the far side, shoulder to shoulder with the newcomer, Marcus Rojo. They're tight up against the corner flag over on the far side. The ball is squeezed behind and it's going to be a goal kick. They didn't necessarily agree at the rookery end, but it is a goal kick for David De Gea to take for Manchester United. Hasn't made a save yet, has he, De Gea? Not even a simple one.
No, he hasn't. They haven't tested him at all, Watford. They need a little bit more from Watson and Capoue in midfield. They can't get Abdi on the ball. I like Abdi, I think he's a good footballer. He's come over onto the left side at the moment, and Gerardo's going over to the right. So many changes of personnel here at Watford over the years. It's one of those sides where it's very difficult to name the 11. Of course, with rotation nowadays, most clubs it's difficult to name the 11 at any one time, but
it's difficult to name the manager.
That's right, yes. It's not a difficult name, Flores, but it's easier than Jukanovic. Can't remember who the one was before Jukanovic. I do remember a man called Taylor.
Oscar Garcia for a short while. Yeah, Graham Taylor, 3 times the manager of Watford. He's here watching this game. never had a great deal of success against Manchester United, though Watford did beat them way back in 1986. That's the last time they managed it, with a goal from Ewan Roberts, now regularly heard on the BBC. The ball is thrown up the near touchline by Watford, trailing here by a 1-0. Ashley Young helps it on. It spins away from United, though, and is hit away by Britos, the Uruguayan, at the rear guard for Watford. Here's Lingard for United, flicks it down the near touchline. Ashley Young, his first touch is a decent one on his right foot, tried to take it away from Alman Abdi towards the corner flag. Young hops inside, Anya comes back and makes a rigorous challenge, but it has deflected away for a Manchester United corner on this near side.
Yeah, once again Ashley Young making tracks deep into the Watford half. And once again gives the chance for Mata to swing a ball in from the right hand side with his left foot, an in-swinger. Memphis comes out. It's interesting that the front man has come out to try and play a 2v1, but Watford make it 2v2, and they play a ball into the near post. And
it's hooked across the face of goal. It was a little flick on towards the far post, and Manchester United had players coming in there in numbers, unable to get a touch, and that was a bit of a let-off for Watford at the back from that corner. Cleared away by Watford. Ashley Young is the last man back by the goalkeeper for Manchester United. He plays a heavy back pass to David De Gea, but the Spanish player gets it away. I wonder if David De Gea is thinking, I could have been in El Clasico this evening if things had panned out differently at the back end of August. But we on 5 Live will be in the Bernabeu later for the match, with Conor McNamara and Chris Waddle. Memphis for Manchester United, steaming forward, plays it across to Mata. Gerardo couldn't cut it out. Here is Mata in possession. He's got Blind available on the far side. Daley Blind in the orange boots flicks it into the box, headed up by Cathcart. I was going to say up and away, but it wasn't particularly away. Neom can't clear properly either.
I think
Gerardo
the
hooks
swirling wind,
it.
Ian,
Yeah, the
sorry
wind
to
is a problem.
Yeah, the swirling wind is definitely giving them a problem there. Watford clearing that ball. I don't think it's particularly if you look at the corner flags, they're really bent backwards now with the wind in the far left-hand corner.
There's uproar around the ground now because Troy Deeney felt he'd made a legitimate challenge over on the far side. He went in very forcibly. He certainly got the ball as well as the man, but referee Madley has taken exception to it and awarded Manchester United a free kick down the far side.
It's such a horrible November day that you need sunglasses to watch this game. It's incredible. The sun is really bright now and it's coming right into our eyes, but
I've got a new coat, I've got new gloves.
Yep, but most of the players on the right-hand side of the field, so it's not too difficult.
What we do know is it's a free kick for Manchester United. Deeney wasn't very happy. It's certainly not a yellow card offence, it's just a free kick. Deeney was actually complaining to the assistant, so maybe he was the one that flagged for it. Either way, Manchester United have taken the free kick backwards. They're in no particular hurry, of course. They have garnered this reputation for very conservative football, shall we say, to be kind to Louis van Gaal. And, well, the onus is really on Watford as the team at home and the team that's trailing by 1-0. And Manchester United quite happy just to be patient and keep control and possession.
It's not a fast pitch, Ian. I notice sometimes when the ball is passed, it doesn't roll that quickly. They didn't water. Often they water the ground just before the game. They put the hoses on it, but they didn't do that today. And I just feel sometimes the ball's just falling short a little bit with the passes. Doesn't seem the best of pitches to me, actually.
Here's Capoue. Yeah, it looks good, but as you say, it may not be playing as truly as some in the Premier League. It's cleared away by De Gea. Matters in there for Manchester United, loses out though in midfield, and here come Watford with Alman Abdi. Rojo's in there with a challenge for Manchester United, and he brings the ball away. It's a long ball diagonally out to this near side, but the flag is up for offside, and it will be a Watford free kick inside their own half. We've played 34 minutes here at Vicarage Road on 5 Live from the BBC. Watford 0, Manchester United 1 is the score. Manchester United aiming to move on to 27 points. That would take them above Manchester City and Arsenal and Leicester to the top of the table before those 3 other clubs play later on today. Manchester City, of course, in the 5:30 game against Liverpool. We'll have regular news of that one throughout El Clasico, with Raheem Sterling playing against his former club, of course, there at the Etihad Stadium. That's a 5:30 start. El Clasico 5:15 for you on 5 Live. Here is Neom down the far side for Watford. He's a long way forward in the right back area. In comes a cross in towards Deeney. Jones gets it away. Capoue with a volley from 18 yards. Way over the top of the bar there from the Frenchman, and a goal kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, never really got to the pitch of the ball there, did Capoue, but he was backing up his forwards well. It was Neon who went down the right-hand side. Mata made a rather weak attempt to stop him. He appealed to the referee. I think he thought it was either a foul or the ball was going out of play. He's certainly having a word with him at the moment. But anyway, Neon stored and past him, put the ball in. It was a good ball. It seemed to hold a little bit in the wind. Odini went for the ball under pressure by Jones, and when the ball came to Capoue on the edge of the box, he wildly shot the ball over the top of the bar.
Yeah, certainly Phil Jones got the better of Deeney in the air, but the header did fall kindly for Capoue, unable to take advantage. And United still lead by 1-0. But chances like that and the one for Igalo show that obviously it's a precarious lead for Manchester United. One moment of inspiration or an error in the wind and Watford could be right back into it. I
think Flores will hope to get to half-time at 1-0, to be honest, with about 10 minutes to go. They have to stop United switching the ball to this right-hand side where Ashley Young has been a little bit difficult to control for Watford on this side. And I just noticed that Flores made a gesture there. I think it was to Abdi. Make sure you're giving Anya support on this left-hand side.
He's taken it to heart, hasn't he? They've almost got two left-backs now at times.
Yeah, he's dropped in a little bit deep. And they're trying to stop that ball. The ball that's just been played by Lingard out to Ashley Young. Ashley Young playing almost as an outside right now, probably remembering his days at Watford when he scampered down the wing and put those good balls into the box.
Yeah, it was excellent for Watford in their promotion year under Adi Boothroyd. It's 8 years now since Ashley Young left Watford for Villa and then on to Manchester United. Young to Mata, to Jesse Lingard, to Mata, back to Young. Young faced by Anya this time. And it will be a throw as the ball bounces off the Scottish international. Long shadows now on the pitch as the sun already starts to sink, of course. Even though it's still lunchtime in my eyes. The ball is played by Manchester United to Schneidlin. Jones back to Schneidlin. And infield to Schweinsteiger. And Mata has found a pocket of space 40 yards out. Can he exploit it? Wide ball to Blind down the left-hand side. His cross is deflected into Mata inside the box and it bounces away a little bit, fortunately for Watford, through to Aurelio Gomez. It is now half-time at Ashton Gate. Simon Mann.
A rather surprising score. Bristol City 1, Hull City the leaders 0. The goal in the 39th minute. Kieran Agard turning and scoring from close range after Luke Freeman's free kick from the right wasn't cleared. Bristol City playing like an away side and it's worked for them. Although Hull came on strong before half-time, Bennett cleared off the line with a header and Akpom missed his header from 6 yards. Bristol City 1, Hull 0 at half-time.
Thanks, Simon. And here it's Watford 0, Manchester United 1, and we're 7 minutes short of half-time. Manchester United just the 2 league defeats so far this season, but still very much a work in progress, but a work in progress that could be top of the table by the end of this game at least. Here's Memphis, the goal scorer from long range, and it's turned away by Gomez. That's where Memphis can be so dangerous, moving in off the left-hand side onto his right foot, and a steaming low shot from 25 yards, and Gomez at stretch to his right gives away the corner.
Yeah, just steered it past the post at Gomez, got down well. Good attempt by Memphis, worthy of a shot. Often we see a lot of play condensed into the midfield third of the field. We don't see enough shots in many Premier League games, but there's United taking opportunities to have a shot.
Well, they don't cross from the corner, they lay it back into midfield, and then eventually it comes in from Blind on the far side and is cleared by Capoue for a throw-in for Manchester United over on the far side.
Certainly the absence of Herrera, with Rojo deputising for him when he went off injured, hasn't affected United anyway. They're still holding sway comfortably in the game, no doubt about that. Well, 3 centre-backs now against Igalo and Deeney, and they're in charge of the game.
And as Ashley Young is pushing forward on this near right-hand side, Blind has now got licence to get really further forward over there on the left-hand side. And he does like to get forward, Daley Blind, who's played centre-back a lot recently, left-back to start this game, and now a left wing-back, and also play as a holding midfield player. And with their injury problems, Manchester United will need that kind of versatility. A reminder that Ander Herrera has hobbled off in the first half of this game, but Manchester United holding sway with a 1-0 lead. Though Watford have a throw-in now on the far side. They're right, only a couple of inches away really from the Manchester United corner flag, and it's taken to Gerardo, who really hasn't sparkled in this game so far. Big things expected of him in a yellow shirt, and it's bounced away for a Manchester United throw. Taken up the touchline, given away by Memphis though. Here's Igalo just outside the box, floats it forward towards Troy Deeney. Good challenge comes in on him, and Blind clears. Headed back by Neom, almost to the edge of the United penalty area. The tall figure of Capoue punts it across. It's deflected out to Ashley Young though defensively for United. The right back turns it along the turf to Lingard, and now Schneiderlin with a good ball, and Mata with a better pass as well at an angle to Young on the right hand side. He delays, he wanted options. Watford getting players back, but here's a good run by Lingard, controlling it well, but then it's smothered and cleared by Watford. As far as Gerardo, Watford almost gave the ball away there, but Schneiderlin was penalised for a foul on Gerardo, who gets back up onto his feet. Manchester United leading 1-0. 3.5 minutes remaining, David Pleat, in the first half at Vicarage Road.
Yes, Watford so far not asserting themselves. They need to get a rhythm, they need to get a succession of passes, they need to gain some confidence. It's difficult because Watson, the holding midfield player, the deepest of the midfield player, is trying to guard Mata, who's the schemer-in-chief of the United side. And as a consequence, Capoue's had very little effect on the game in the centre, whereas I've said previously, Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger look more than composed and comfortable in that area. And when the ball does come long, particularly from Gomez or from Britos, the left centre-back, who's played lots of longer passes, then Smalling and Jones are in command of those aerial situations.
Yeah, Watford need a bit of a shake-up at half-time, because it's hardly been vintage United, solid United so far, David.
Yes, I would agree. Yes, I would agree.
But good enough as things stand to see them at the top of the table. They've been there once before this season when they beat Sunderland. They then fell to that defeat at Arsenal, but since then Manchester United yet to concede a goal in the Premier League. On the far side it is Blind, who forces a throw, almost level with the Watford box. Manchester United in the shadows over there, and the ball is thrown down the line to Memphis, the goal scorer. He took the goal ever so neatly. If you're just fresh to our coverage here on 5 Live, a volley from the edge of the 6-yard area after a delicate ball floated in from the right-hand side by Ander Herrera. Memphis hitting it high into the net.
Because Watford haven't been able to command the ball and put no continuity of passing together, Anya hasn't been able to get forward to support on the left. In fact, we haven't seen him once yet really burst over the halfway line from that left-back position, and he is so quick. Maybe he'll move now.
Yeah, I think it's better deployed elsewhere, but Quique Sanchez-Flores decided to leave out Nathan Ake, the player on loan from Chelsea, to accommodate the return of Gerardo, and that really hasn't worked out so far for Watford. There are one down, 90 seconds remaining of the first 45 minutes. There will be some stoppage time because of the injury to Ander Herrera, but he did go off pretty rapidly. He knew straight away that his hamstring had been tweaked, and it's doubtful he'll be available for consideration against PSV Eindhoven coming up on Wednesday, when we'll have that match for you live on 5 Live. Manchester United with the chance to qualify. Here's Mata through the middle for Manchester United. The flag goes up, but it was cleared away anyway by Aurelio Gomez. But that again came about because of a Watford error. On Tuesday, by the way, Arsenal against Dynamo Zagreb even, is our Champions League feature match for you. On Monday, Crystal Palace against Sunderland. And tomorrow we've got Tottenham against West Ham at 4 o'clock. The ball is with Watford for the moment. Neom to Capoue. Capoue forward to Abdi, and Abdi to Neom on the far side. He lets it run because Gerardo's got possession. Neom on the overlap, level with the Manchester United penalty area. Can he deliver a cross? Well, he delivers a corner anyway, because Daley Blind was across there straight away to make the block, and a corner for Watford. Can they manufacture something unexpected in the final 12 seconds of normal time at the end of the first half here at Vicarage Road, where Manchester United are leading by 1-0. Corner to be taken on the far side by Ben Watson. 1 minute added on. So 1 minute to be played. after this corner from Watson, which is curled in. Phil Jones rises. Not the best of headers, but it fell kindly for Manchester United. They're able to clear, and now maybe they can sweep forward on the break. Here's Daly Blind on the left-hand side. Watford surging back defensively. It's an awful ball cross-field by Blind. He's infuriated by himself. He gave it straight back to Watford. They're going backwards. Plenty to moan about here for the Watford fans. And the Manchester United supporters, despite the lead, will not be sitting comfortably either. Here's Neom on the far side for Watford. I think we all need a half-time break. The ball is cleared away by Manchester United. And they give it straight back to Watford and Watson. And guess what? It's a loose ball by him. Rojo will easily get across there and engage the ball. And he thumps it to the halfway line. Neom heads it back. And that was a pretty poor last minute of Premier League football, David Pleat. But there's half-time. And United lead 1-0.
Yeah, Watford look almost in awe of their more illustrious foes here. They're fractured in midfield. There's no real rhythm in their play, and when they do get that ball forward, whether it's the wind, whether it's the pitch, but they're certainly not making any opportunities. United have been in command right from the word go. They weren't disturbed by the alteration they had to make when Herrera went off, Rojo came on. They went to three centre-backs. Constantly, Young on the right-hand side has had room and time to go forward and put balls into the box. It was a splendid goal by Memphis, well taken, but Watford will rue the fact that they didn't anticipate the cross coming in and didn't block it well, and United have a deserved lead. The game is slightly low-key. Watford, I'm sure, can do much better, and I'm sure the manager will be really reminding the players of their responsibilities to really go and really attack this game. They are the home team, they are the underdogs, but at the moment they're playing as though they feel like underdogs.
Yes, it was a lovely goal to light up a first half which hasn't really scaled any great heights. Half-time, Watford 0, Manchester United 1.
Thank you, gents. Go and get a cup of tea. Lots to talk about in this half-time interval, and we'll hear from Jose Mourinho after the news with Kate Williams.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
The Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel has called on people in Brussels to be vigilant after the terror threat there was raised to the highest level. The city's metro system has been closed and people have been warned to avoid crowded places, including shopping centres and concerts. Mr Michel told reporters why the decision had been taken.
It results of quite precise information about a risk of attack as it happened in Paris. We're therefore talking about threats pertaining to a hypothesis in which several armed individuals with weapons and explosives would lead attacks, possibly at several places at a time.
David Cameron's welcomed a UN Security Council resolution calling on all countries to join the fight against the Islamic State group. It was unanimously passed after being drafted by France following last week's terror attacks in Paris. The Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has warned against external intervention in Syria. FIFA's Ethics Committee has recommended that President Sepp Blatter and Vice President Michel Platini should face sanctions. They're both currently suspended while corruption allegations are investigated. Both men deny any wrongdoing. Police in New Zealand believe 4 British people were among 7 killed when a helicopter crashed on a glacier. It came down in bad weather on Fox Glacier, a popular tourist destination on the South Island. Here's our correspondent, John Donnison.
They've had choppers up there today and winch people down, but this helicopter is wedged apparently down pretty deep in a crevasse. So I think it could be some time before we get formal identification of the victims.
A 10-day state of emergency has been announced in Mali following yesterday's hotel siege. The country's president says 21 people, including 2 gunmen, died at the Radisson Blu in the capital Bamako. A group linked to Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility for the attack. And the DUP leader Peter Robinson has insisted Northern Ireland is on safe ground and is a place transformed. The comments come in his last conference speech as both First Minister and party leader. This week he announced he would stand down from politics after a 45-year career.
This is BBC 5 Live. On digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
On the roads, delays on the M6 northbound after an earlier accident between junctions 17 and 18, Crewe and Holmes Chapel. All the lanes are now open, but it's taking a while for the queues to clear there. One lane's closed on the M42 northbound between junction 12 Flitwick and 13 for Milton Keynes South. In Hampshire, the M3 is blocked northbound just before junction 9 for Winchester. Finally, in Greater London, a broken down coach on the A4 Great West Road eastbound in Chiswick at its junction with the Sutton Court Road has led to 8 miles of queuing traffic. Traffic's backing up onto the eastbound M4. Delays of over an hour are being reported.
Football on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra.
On Tuesday night, we have live Champions League football commentary. Arsenal take on Dinamo Zagreb, 7:45 kick-off. Then, on Wednesday night, Manchester United take on PSV Eindhoven.
Football.
Europe's elite club competition.
The Champions League.
On 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Pugach.
Manchester United 1-up at Vicarage Road at half-time. Chelsea, Norwich are based from 3 o'clock. Commentary from Ian Dennis and Stuart Pearce, and all the goals as they go in. And Sam Wallace, the chief football writer of the Daily and Sunday Telegraph, joins us up here in the commentary box. Sam, good afternoon. You've been speaking to someone close to the heart of action here at Stamford Bridge this week. What sort of message is coming out of the hierarchy, do you think?
Yeah, I did an interview with Michael Emenalo, who's the technical director at Chelsea and has been in that position since 2011. He's one of the few people who speaks to Roman Abramovich and knows how the owner here thinks and works. And it was significant. I mean, it's obvious we'd like to have done that interview many seasons before, but he's never made himself available. This is obviously a unique time in Chelsea's modern history where they are struggling. And his message was very much that they have confidence in Mourinho. They believe in him, they believe in the players, and they believe that they will get out of the situation they find themselves in. The heavy caveat is, of course, that even those who know Roman Abramovich well are aware that he can make decisions quickly, and if they lose today, then that is a possibility that he will sack Jose Mourinho. But certainly the party line at the moment is that they back their manager. And they believe that they know why things have gone wrong. They believe he can fix them. But there is always that wild card of what Abramovich might do.
Even if they have to write this season off in terms of the fact that making the top 4 will be so hard now?
I don't think they have yet. And certainly the way Mourinho was talking yesterday was that they believe they can do it. I know history and tells us that clubs in their position don't do that, and they will need a lot of results to go their way. But they're not at that stage yet. And I mean, it's still a possibility, but it's going to take championship winning form in order to do it.
Headline in one of the newspapers you're looking at just now: I don't deserve new players in January, insists Mourinho. Well, it's one thing to say he doesn't deserve them. It's quite another to say that he wouldn't accept them.
He does say, of course, if they drop Paul Pogba into the squad, or he doesn't mention Paul Pogba, but that's I mean, he wouldn't argue with that. He doesn't say that he's not going to make signings. What he's basically saying is that he's not going to agitate for new signings. He's not going to, which he has done in the past. I mean, as you remember, there was that great analogy about eggs, about getting eggs from a certain supermarket and not another supermarket when he was here first time around, which was a very clear message that he didn't think the signings were right. He's not doing that now, and I noticed that Matt Law in my paper, who covers Chelsea, is saying that he feels that the dynamic has really shifted if you compare it to Mourinho Part 1 10 years ago, that now really he is at the owner's mercy, so to speak, and he's not in a position to demand anything.
Let's hear from Mourinho then, who believes it's only a matter of time before results improve.
The players are enthusiastic, the players are confident, the players in this moment, they know that they are playing okay, I would say more than okay, individually, collectively. The results, they have to come, and the next match is always the match. We think the result is coming, so we are positive. I don't think we are going to start under any kind of pressure. I think we just want the game to start.
Is it a concern though, Jose, as you said, even when you're playing well and you played well against Stoke, you still lost the game, and is it you're getting into a rut even when you are playing well? You're losing.
But it's football. Last season we played against Queen's Park Rangers. We hit the target once, minute 91, and we won 1-0. That's football. It's more difficult to lose when you don't deserve than to win when you don't deserve. But we have to cope with it, and we have to believe that playing well, we are closer to the victory, and that's we have to try to play well. and hopefully to get the result in it.
Sam, just finally, the two games against Stoke, the league game and the League Cup game, actually they did play a lot better in both. And Jose's right to a certain extent. In another season they might have won both those games rather than been knocked out the League Cup and lost the league game.
Yes, and I would agree with that. I mean, Stoke really had one chance, and when Arnautovic scored, you felt Chelsea are going to lose this because it's just the way that it's going. And that does reflect what Emenalo said to me in the week, that sometimes he called it a negative momentum. When you're in it, very hard to get out of it.
Sam, thank you very much. As always, Sam Wallace from the Daily Telegraph with us here. Let's go to Dubai. Rory McIlroy going to the final round of the season-ending World Tour Championship, second on the leaderboard, a shot behind Andy Sullivan, who's 16 under. And despite McIlroy's troubled season, he's firmly on course to win the race to Dubai.
It would mean an awful lot just being able to go into the Christmas break on a bit of a high note. Winning the race to Dubai, winning this tournament, just to get another tournament win. At the end of the season, if I walk away with 4 wins, it's still pretty good with a race to Dubai title. And even though it wasn't a season that I wanted, it would just it would be huge to walk away here on a high tomorrow.
So it's a big day tomorrow.
It is.
Keep you posted on that final round on 5 Live Sport tomorrow. Let's go to London's O2 Arena now. The first semi of the ATP World Tour Finals between Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal getting underway in about the next half an hour or so. And correspondent Russell Fuller is in place.
Yes, this will be the 46th meeting between Nadal and Djokovic. Nadal leads it 23-22. Djokovic has not been at his normal imperious best this week. He lost in straight sets to Roger Federer at the round-robin stage. Nadal won all 3 matches, including coming back having dropped the first set to beat David Ferrer in 2 hours and 37 minutes yesterday afternoon, just 24 hours before this match, in a match he didn't need to win because he was already qualified. Miles McLagan is with us. He'll be commentating on 5 Live Sports Extra from 2 o'clock. I think that told us a lot about Nadal. He'd love to win this tournament, but after the problems he's had with injury and illness over the past 12 to 18 months, it means so much to him just to now be able to say, I've beaten 3 top 8 players. I've beaten Ferrer, I've beaten Andy Murray, and I've beaten Stan Wawrinka.
Absolutely. I think he's just relishing being back on court, fit, able to play, and I think that's just the kind of competitor he is. I mean, have we ever in his career seen him not give absolutely everything for every single match? So I think winning this title still would mean a whole lot to him. The way he goes about his business, he doesn't necessarily think that far ahead. He's very humble, but he doesn't know how to do anything else but just fight for every point.
No Andy Murray today. He's taking the day off before travelling to Ghent with the British Davis Cup team tomorrow. He's lost to Stan Wawrinka and Rafa Nadal in his last 2 matches. What do you make of how he played and where he's at?
Yeah, I mean, the Nadal match was, I'm sure he would have been a little bit disappointed with. He did somewhat fade away, but, Nadal was playing some great tennis. And, I think, again, all these players have tried their absolute best, but you could forgive him for having just that Davis Cup in the back of his mind. Wawrinka played some great tennis, some uncharacteristic misses from Andy, but not worried about the level of his tennis at all.
He was here after the match finished on the court, practicing with his coach Jonas Bjorkman. They were also deep in conversation before he headed back to the locker room. So no Murray today, but the second semi-final mark will be Roger Federer against Stan Wawrinka, a repeat of last year's semi-final. All eyes on Mirka Federer after her
yes,
courtside sledging of Stan last year.
Excellent. We have to keep an eye on her as much as the match. Thank you. Live on Sports Extra from 2 and on BBC One. 5 Live Sport has a double bill of racing, bringing you coverage from both Ascot and Haydock, an established star and an up-and-coming star. I'm not talking about John Hunt and Cornelius Lycett, although the gag is in there. Let's go to you first of all. John, you've got the up-and-coming star at Ascot.
I have, Mark. Yes, how exciting. In just 20 minutes' time, the up-and-coming star is Vautour. And Mark, so impressive was he when winning a big novice steeplechase at the Cheltenham Festival that he has immediately propelled himself to the front of the betting, where he's favourite for both the Cheltenham Gold Cup next March and the King George at Kempton on Boxing Day. It's his first run since Cheltenham here in 20 minutes' time. He's got 4 rivals to beat and he's 3-1 on favourite to win. He should do it comfortably, and it's great to see him back on the track this afternoon.
So that's Vautour at Ascot, and it's Sylvain Jaco Conti with Cornelius Slyson at Haydock and the Betfair Chase.
Yeah, the winner of this 3-mile test in 2012 and 2014, attempting to win it for a third time to give his trainer Paul Nicholls a 7th win in the race. First run in 2005. Nicholls won it 4 times with the great Corto Star. Silvaniaco Conti, the man of Noel Feely, against 4 rivals, including the 2013 winner Q Card. Conti was third that year. Also Ballynagore, Dinast, who's been third and second, and Holywell. In favour of Silvaniaco Conti is he's a champion away from Cheltenham, away from Jump Racing's headquarters. The flat track here, currently bathed in autumn sunshine. The tracks at Aintree and Kempton really suit him. He's won the King George at Kempton a couple of times, and the ground here today, that won't be a problem. Ran well over hurdles at Kempton the other day. Q Card, though, does seem pretty rejuvenated. Q Card was a star, became a fallen star, but is back to being a star again, and so he's going to be a big rival for Silvaniaco Conti for this, the first part of Chasing's £1 million Triple Crown. This race, the King George and the Gold Cup. Don't go being a fallen star yourself, Pugac.
Not yet. Lots to look forward to then when it comes to the racing this afternoon as we go back to Vicarage Road and Ian Brown.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, I suppose a lot of people around here are looking forward to an improved Watford display in the second half. It needs to be that if they're going to discomfort Manchester United, who lead by 1-0 thanks to that beautifully taken goal by Memphis after 11 minutes in the first half of this game in Hertfordshire. We've been topping up our winter suntans as well as having a cup of tea at half-time. It's been that kind of day, wintry but very bright, and Watford have possession inside their own half. And their manager, Quique Sanchez-Flores, has made a change at half-time, and he's reverted back to the same team as started the last 2 matches, including a very competent and exciting home victory over West Ham in the last match here, when Anya was playing as a midfielder on the left-hand side and Ake was in behind him, and Gerardo has been taken off at half-time. Ake has come on to play at left-back, and I suppose that might be an admission by the manager, David Pleat, that he got it wrong in the first place.
Well, not necessarily. We'll just watch this attack.
Yeah,
with,
it's Memphis. Lovely ball. Lingard on the edge of the penalty area. Great chance for number 2. And it's saved by Aurelio Gomez. Wonderful stop by the Brazilian goalkeeper, who had such an awkward afternoon at Leicester those 2 weeks ago. But this time he springs away to his right-hand side to turn it aside for a corner. That could have been 2-0 straight away at the start of the second half.
Yes, he went to try and hit the near post area. Gomez spread himself to the right and saved. But a great opportunity for United to double the lead. The lead lost.
Well, here's Mata on the near side from the short corner, and I think they've won another one, though it might be a throw close to the corner flag. The linesman is indicating that. So a throw for Manchester United in the red and white, playing from right to left towards the Rookery stand end at Vicarage Road in the second half. 1 or 2 latecomers just returning to their seats. They almost missed a second goal for Manchester United. Gomez has made a couple of very good saves now in the Watford goal. Here's Schweinsteiger turning the ball forward, headed away by Cathcart for Watford, who are under early pressure. Here's Memphis onto his right foot, cutting in. This is the danger. He squares it. And now it's Mata back on for Memphis, and Cathcart has to dive in between the pair of them. A snarling tackle there from the former Manchester United man. And he gets it away for a corner, and again Watford in danger of being cut apart there.
Yeah, brilliant interception by Cathcart at the centre of defence there, but United starting in the ascendancy once again.
This time a short corner, orthodox short corner. Memphis runs round Mata, plays it back into midfield. It's Blind, back out to Juan Mata. Mata, one of 2 players to have started every game in the Premier League for Manchester United this season, can't latch onto a return ball, which was stabbed his way by Memphis, and Watford clear to nobody in particular, and Manchester United will pick up the loose ball. Blind up the near touchline. Here's Anya. Anya heads it on towards Abdi, and now it's Igala with his back to goal on the halfway line. Knocked off the ball easily by Chris Smalling. This is a strong start to the half from United. Mata's got possession. He squares it to Schweinsteiger, the German, right-footed, lines up the shot over the top of the bar. And that is a goal kick. Well, much further into the second half at Ashton Gate in the Championship, where the leaders Hull were behind against Bristol City at half-time. Here's Simon Mann.
We're in the 12th minute of the second half. It's still Bristol City 1, Hull 0. Lots of Hull possessions. I mean, a measured, patient performance by them. They tried to pass it, but they're up against the Bristol City side. They look very determined today, getting plenty of men behind the ball, making it hard for them. Can the home side keep it going? Hull looking to be patient and open the home side up. Still 1-0 thanks to Kieran Agard's goal in the first half. Bristol City 1, Hull 0.
Thank you, Simon. The ball is played forward by Watford, and Rojo, one of 3 centre-backs now for Manchester United in the second half of this game after Ander Herrera went off in the first 45 minutes, gets it away, but only as far as Anya down the near side, coming forward for a first time for Watford. He's been released to get forward, hasn't he now? Ikichi Anya with the change made at half-time by Flores. You say it wasn't an admission of making an error by the manager of Watford, but he has switched things back to how they were.
Well, it gives them some pace on the right-hand side with Anya. He wasn't effective as a left full-back. He certainly didn't get forward to utilise that space. I just feel that Watford really have got a buzz in this half, that no two halves are ever the same. They've got to press higher, pass the ball better, that's for sure, and force mistakes on United. If not, they will lose this game. Igalo and Deeney, who are so good at playing together as a combination, they need passes, and if they're not going to get the passes, then they just can't threaten the United defence.
Well, here's Jones for Manchester United, who made 4 changes at the start of the afternoon. Rojo was left out, but now he's back in, playing as a left-sided centre-back, left of the 3. Daley Blind wide left wing-back, Ashley Young right wing-back. Here's Memphis coming in off the touchline on the left-hand side. He started playing through the middle, Memphis, but he switched around quite a bit, so now he plays a pass out to the far side. I think he mishit it, but it reaches Ashley Young nonetheless. And there's Jones to Mata. Quick turn by the Spanish player, facing towards goal as he floats it to Blind down the left-hand side. In comes a lobbed cross. Too much height on it, I think. Ake gets it away, the substitute, but only as far as Ashley Young. Young appealing for handball as it's blocked by the Watford player, but here come United. Phil Jones bursting into the penalty area. Jones with a shot, that's deflected through to Gomez, the goalkeeper, who takes it on the first bounce right on the dead ball line. And Watford under increasing pressure, and well, we thought there may be a stirring speech by Quique Sanchez Flores to get Watford going in the second half, but Manchester United very rapidly out of the blocks here, David, please.
Yeah, early moments, of course. Jones going forward there, seeing an opportunity to get forward. He just came back limping a little bit gingerly after hitting that shot against the Watford defender, which was deflected, and Gomez gratefully clasped. But certainly in midfield, Watson and Capoue have to get the ball out to Anya, but it's United who are going forward once again, and the supporters are a little bit restless, the Watford supporters. They need a little bit more oomph into the game. You know what oomph is, Ian?
Yes, I think so.
Passion, determination.
Yes, hoil, as we say in Wales. The ball is now with Lingard down the near side for Manchester United. Is away from Cathcart. He half stumbled, so he didn't make too much progress, and the referee has determined that actually he was fouled there by Cathcart, and that means that it's going to be a free kick down the near left-hand side for Manchester United, and a chance to swerve the ball into the box, unless they take another short one. Memphis is over the ball. He certainly looked confident after scoring that early goal, Memphis Depay.
Yes, he's done okay. He's had a fair amount of possession. He's always looking for the ball. In fact, they've interchanged quite well up the front. They've manoeuvred well between themselves, Lingard and Memphis. Mata, of course, behind them is always looking to get on the ball, which is important.
The big man are forward, but it is played short to Mata, who's got a decent angle for a shot, but he squares it instead to Rojo, high across the penalty area, looking for Mata, away by Anya on the stretch as he rises. Manchester United win it back. Here's Memphis on his right foot. Don't give him space there. Well, he hit it, and he hit it poorly, and it just about takes out the corner flag on the far side, but it opened up there for Memphis. They must have seen the videos. That's how he loves to score his goals. In off the left-hand side onto his right foot, but they backed off him.
Yeah, well, of course, Ashley Young used to be famed for that, particularly at the Villa, where he came in from that left-hand side and hit those efforts with his right foot. It is the trend nowadays, of course, to have opposite-footed wingers on the sidelines. The right footer on the left-hand wing, and the right footer on the the right footer on the left-hand wing, and the left footer on the right-hand wing, so they can cut in and hit those shots. But often, of course, you can force them into the ruck, and the efforts get blocked. I personally like flank players who are able to try and get on the outside, having the moral bravery and the physical bravery to try and attack the full-back and get near the byline and cross those balls.
Well, he is nominally playing as the main striker, Memphis, but he does like to drift over to the left, and when he does so, Lingard takes up the role in the centre-forward slots. Here is Mata on the halfway line for Manchester United. Switches play with a good ball left-footed out to the far side. Here is Ashley Young on his old stamping ground, taking on Ake round the outside, potentially. Ake has done well, actually. The ball runs off the foot of the Dutchman on loan from Chelsea. It deflects off the corner flag as well and goes the right side of the flag for Manchester United. And in front of a rather silent Rookery end here at Watford, it is a corner for Manchester United, who have this game by the scruff of the neck but lead by just the 1-0 scored by Memphis in the first half. It's 5-2. After 2, we'll bring you all the team news from the other matches in the Premier League, which kick off at 3 o'clock today, including our commentary from Chelsea. In comes the corner for Manchester United to the near post, headed across and wide by Schweinsteiger. I think he intended to head it across. He got too much on it, and it flies behind for a goal kick.
Well, Schweinsteiger did that in the first half and got a flick, where Mata plays the ball in. They take 2 out. Watford take 2 defenders out to stop the 2v1. And then they play it in quick towards the near post area, where Schweinsteiger makes a run and just tries to get his eyebrows on it and flicks it beyond the back post for hopefully someone coming in to make the goal.
Well, we were talking racing just before the end of the half-time interval here. We can now go back to Haydock and our racing correspondent Cornelius Lysett.
And the big hurdle race here, the Betfair Price Rush hurdle, has been won by the 11-10 on favourite Irving, but only just made to work hard by Top Notch at 7-4, who's run a top-notch race in second place. Irving, though, the winner for the Paul Nicholls stable, which has Silviniaco Conti in the Betfair Chase at 3 o'clock.
Thanks, Cornelius. And just after 2:05, we'll be at Ascot with John Hunt for commentary on the Stella Artois Chase there. Here come Watford, edge of the penalty area. Deeney with a strike. Good save by David De Gea. The first time De Gea has been called into action. It was a well-struck shot. Lots of venom in that one from Troy Deeney, and it was batted away with both palms above his head by David De Gea, and it's a corner for Watford.
Yeah, super play by Ake when the ball was laid back. A fierce shot, and De Gea was up for it. Maybe that will give Watford heart. They'll force a corner and try and keep some pressure on.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Watford trailing by 1-0. We can hear the drummer. Well, it's the mascot who pounds the drum.
It's Harry the Hornet.
Harry the Hornet pounding the drum, and the ball has been cleared away.
He's not got much rhythm. I'm afraid it's like his team at the moment.
Former Luton manager David Pleat criticises Watford mascot. That's the headline. Here is Memphis, so he's lost it in midfield, and Watford suddenly have the bit between their teeth. Here perhaps it's an opportunity for Abdi. He forces it wide to Anya down the right-hand side, who chases it out towards the corner flag. Nicks it back to Neom, who's all the way forward from right back, and now behind him it's Abdi. Scuttling, trying to get away from Marcus Rojo, but United have defended that well on the near side, although they have conceded the throw. And around us in the Sir Elton John stand, they're not quite still standing, but they're threatening to get on their feet, with Watford coming forward, but it's cleared away by Blind.
That's better by Watford.
Yeah, and they've won it back on the halfway line too. A little bit more thrust from the home team now here at Vicarage Road. It's hit long by them, and Blind on the stretch has just hacked it away for a throw in down the near side for Watford.
They've got to try and turn the team. They've got to try and turn the defenders. And they do that by playing the ball beyond Blind, trying to get one of the centre-backs out to the sides and hopefully getting possession and crossing the ball early. We've seen the Deeney effort just now. He's capable of hitting those blockbusters. Igalo we've seen so little of, and we're really desperate to see him because he has made quite a big impression this season, indeed last season as well, here at Vicarage Road.
He was a bit of a doubt coming into the game, Igalo. Here's Anya down the near side for Watford as he won a corner. Was there a double deflection? The linesman's thinking about it, and he's given the corner. He looked to the referee to say, what do you think?
Well, the assistant waved his flag 3 ways then, and as he did like a semicircle with his flag, he eventually decided to stop. And where he stopped, it was at his feet. So
I thought he was parking an aircraft there for a moment. It's a corner which is going to be taken by Ben Watson from the near side for Watford. In it comes, it's flicked on towards the far post, driven goalwards by Ighalo and blocked inside the 6-yard area and scrambled away by Manchester United. It dropped for the man they wanted it to drop to, Odion Ighalo, who was falling slightly backwards as he struck it from the 6-yard line, but it was blocked by a Manchester United defender right in front of him. United survive. They're still leading. High ball into their box. De Gea has to judge it in the wind, and that's a very good catch by the Spanish international goalkeeper.
Yeah,
who
excellent
clears
catch.
first time. It's a very long one.
Catch.
Back to the other goalkeeper.
Sorry, Ian. Very high ball coming out of the sun as well. Really high, and he had to judge that absolutely spot on. Did De Gea. A fine catch.
Yeah, we're shielding our eyes, and it was coming from that direction out of the sun, and it was a very good catch considering the wind as well by David De Gea. And he's made that great save as well in the second half to deny Deeney.
Yeah, he even looks a better goalkeeper, doesn't he, with his shirt inside his shorts. Looked rather untidy when he first came, and everyone doubted his abilities, but they had great faith in him in Old Trafford, and I have to say he has done brilliantly for them. But he didn't have an easy start. Taken over, of course, from some greats, Van der Sar, Schmeichel. Wonderful history of great goalkeepers at United. Alex Stepney, of course. I've probably missed a few out, haven't I?
Gary Bailey, I'm thinking. Here's Ighalo on the far side for Watford. He can't keep it in play. It's going to be a Manchester United throw-in. And David De Gea has knuckled down ever so well when his big move to Real Madrid, which he did want, fell through at the last minute.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe there was some paperwork purposely lost.
Yes, the fax machine at Old Trafford isn't as in good a state of repair as it might have been. Here is Capoue. Only joking, of course. Nudged off the ball there by Schneiderlin unfairly, and that will be a free kick for Watford deep inside their own half. It's Watford 0, Manchester United 1 in the Barclays Premier League on 5 Live from the BBC. From 3 o'clock, it's Chelsea against Norwich, live from Stamford Bridge. Here's Ben Watson now for Watford, coming forward, hits a shot which is blocked by Smalling right on the edge of the penalty area. It comes back Watford's way, though. They're trying to feed Anya down the near side, but United are wise to that and can break with Rojo to Schweinsteiger, little flick in midfield to Schneiderlin, back to Schweinsteiger. They've played that well, and they found Ashley Young in space down the right-hand side. What's the ball like? Decent one to Memphis. On the right he is this time, and the tackle comes in firmly from Miguel Britos, the tough Uruguayan at the heart of the Watford defence, in the throw for Manchester United.
Lovely play by Schweinsteiger in that move, setting Young away.
Throw-in taken. You can't be offside from a throw-in. Lingard's got it on the dead ball line. Back to Young on the far side, looking for Lingard. Lovely swivel and turn down the far touch line for Watford from Capoue, and now it's hit down the far side for Deeney to chase. He's beaten to it though by Phil Jones. Jones almost gets it into the second tier of the Graham Taylor stand. It's a Watford throw. And the score is still 1-0 to Manchester United. Here is Ashley Young clearing. But there's been a change in the atmosphere around the ground, and an atmosphere which has been, encouraged by the performance of the Watford players in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Watford now more susceptible to the breakaway, of course, playing higher up the field, trying to give more support to their front players, certainly getting much more of the ball now in the half to our right, where Watford are attacking to the Vicarage Road end. And Manchester United, for the first time in the game, having to defend for a period of more than 3 or 4 minutes.
And the Manchester United fans are getting a bit louder as well. They sense their team might need a little bit of a vocal lift, with Watford finally responding after conceding that reasonably early goal after just 11 minutes. Now, Chelsea against Norwich City is our feature match, our commentary match from 3 o'clock with Ian Dennis, and we can go to him now for the team news.
And Ian, both sides make 3 changes. Ivanovic returns for Chelsea. He's been out since early October with a hamstring injury. He replaces Azpilicueta, Fabregas for Ramirez, and Kennedy will play at left back instead of Baba Rahman. As for Norwich City, Mbakani replaces Jerome, Malumbu for Teti, and Nathan Redmond is fit again to take the place of Houlihan.
Interesting that Kennedy plays left back there for Chelsea. Ian Dennis will be alongside Stuart Pearce for our commentary from Stamford Bridge from 3 o'clock. Nathan Ake, of course, is a left-back who Chelsea have loaned out, and that seems to be a problem area for them. Ake is playing here and playing well for Watford this season. The ball is with Schneiderlin for Manchester United. Arcs the ball out to Ashley Young, who's still finding space on the right-hand side. Remember, he's a wing-back now, not an orthodox right-back, because Manchester United introduced an extra centre-back when Ander Herrera went off with an injury in the first half. Here's Rojo down beneath us, the Argentine player. Sends it forward into the Watford half, but he didn't really search out a red shirt, and it's easily cleared away by Cathcart. It drops inside the United half. Schweinsteiger to Blind, to Memphis, to Blind again. The two Dutchmen, Memphis and Blind, combining, and now Schweinsteiger, the German. You could see his idea there to sweep it out again to Young on the far side. He slightly misfires, and Ake, the aforementioned Ake, shows good composure to allow the ball to run behind for a Watford goal kick. It remains Watford 0, Manchester United 1. More team news from the Premier League matches coming up shortly, but a reminder that at 5:15 we're in Madrid. More literally, we're in the Bernabeu for Real Madrid against Barcelona, El Clasico. Rafa Benitez taking charge of Real Madrid, and Lionel Messi potentially returning after injury for Barcelona. There's been a second goal of the day at Ashton Gate, Bristol City against Hull. Simon Mann.
Hull City have equalised, and it's Sean Maloney who's got it, the substitute. It's his first goal for the club. He beat the offside flag from the linesman. There was no flag with Bristol City appealing. He took it on. He was one-on-one against Fielding, and he scored emphatically. It's Bristol City 1, the leaders Hull 1.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, Hull were top on goal difference going into that match, looking to potentially go 3 points clear if they can go on and win it from behind. We're now going for the early stages, news of the early stages of the big race, the big national hunt race there at Ascot with John Hunt.
Yes, the Stella Artois chase, all eyes here in on Vautour, the champion novice from last year. He's at fence number 5, he's leading and he's jumping impeccably in the early stages. A great, smooth start from a potential superstar. Vautour underway at Ascot.
And we'll be back there for the closing stages with John Hunt in just a few moments here on 5 Live. But we're sticking with the football for now, with Watford trailing Manchester United here by 1-0. It's a long ball forward by United. It'll drop for Memphis on the edge of the area, nudges it infield to Lingard, who tries a flick. Ake gets it away though for Watford. The game is being stretched now with Watford more on the front foot, and Manchester United looking to catch them on the break. That has to be the pattern, of course, if Watford want to get something from this fixture. They've lost their last 9 meetings against United over the years, stretching back almost 3 decades. Here's Cathcart for Watford. Finds Ake. Remember, Manchester United, if they can win this game, will go top of the Premier League for at least a couple of hours. Arsenal and Leicester, and later on Manchester City, all playing this Saturday as well. The ball is with Anya on the far side, but he's been dispossessed, and here now is Jesse Lingard. He's fast, he plays it square to Mata, 25 yards out from goal for Manchester United, to Memphis. He wants it on his right foot, onto his left. Oh, and it's just wide of the far post. That was unexpected from Memphis. Another trick there. He had something else up his sleeve to nudge the ball onto his left foot, and he tried to scoop it first time with a minimum backlift beyond Gomez into the far corner, and it missed by a fraction.
Yes, he hit it very quickly, very little backlift with his left foot, where everyone expects him to turn in onto his inside, and it just...
He surprised me.
Just went slowly past the back post. Gomez was beaten.
Yeah, he surprised the goalkeeper too. Gomez would not have had a prayer had that been on target there from Memphis. Now Ashley Young has been upended by Ben Watson. We can go for team news now from the match between Newcastle and Leicester City. The Jamie Vardy question, of course, is the big one. Here's Alistair Yeomans.
He is fit and so can equal the Premier League goal-scoring record. One change for Leicester, a Joa for Schlopp. Newcastle are unchanged.
And Alistair will update us throughout the afternoon with all the action there from St James's Park as we go round the grounds from our base at Chelsea between 3 o'clock and around about 10 to 5. Then, of course, the classified results and El Clasico at 5:15. Bottom of the Premier League are Aston Villa. They're at Everton today. And let's get the team news from Peter Slater.
Well, Villa make 3 changes. Amavi, of course, injured out for the season. Sanchez and Sinclair on the bench. In come Richardson, Westwood and Grealish. Everton are unchanged, but Tom Cleverley's on the bench and Leighton Baines isn't too far away.
Thanks, Peter. Aston Villa, of course, managed by Remy Gard, his second match in charge. Now, Manchester United making a potential further alteration. Phil Jones has come to the near touchline for a bit of treatment and a drink. And it looks as though Paddy McNair, who's had his own injury problems recently, is going to come on. On he comes, Paddy McNair. And Paredes has come on as well for Watford in place of Neom. Let's go to the closing stages of the race now at Ascot with John Hunt.
Votor still in front with 2 to jump here, Ian. Putizig the only danger, second last fence, and Votor made a bad mistake at fence number 11. He's recovered okay. Putizig making him fight a little bit though as they come down towards the 17th and final fence. Is Votor getting a bit tired? Ruby Walsh pushing him. He's only got a slender lead at the last. He jumped the last well. Putizig a length away. Votor now comes under the maximum Ruby Walsh drive here to maintain a length and a half advantage over Putizig. And Votor wins on his seasonal reappearance. One big scare at fence number 11. He survived that, and he now presumably heads to Kempton, where he'll be one of the favourites for the King George on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we'll have that on Boxing Day for you on 5 Live. So victory for Votor, thanks to John Hunt there at Ascot. We'll round up the racing for you later on in the programme here. 5 Live Sport from the BBC. Here come Watford though, trailing by a goal to Neil Capoue. Almost got in the shot. It was blocked by Smalling. Wonderful defending by the England man. Not the best of clearances. And then what a save by David De Gea to deny Alman Abdi. It was a low shot. It might have taken a slight deflection. And the keeper got down low to his right. Got a big palm to the ball. A big orange glove to the ball. It's a corner. And we were expecting the equaliser. Corner to be taken by Watson, curled in underneath the crossbar, punched away by De Gea under pressure. Suddenly the goalkeeper needs to be fully involved in the game. What a stop that was, David Pleat.
Yes, brilliant stop by the goalkeeper, and also brilliant defending by Smalling. As good an opportunity as Watford have had in this game there, after they had a corner. Terrific pressure by them.
Well, Manchester United over 600 minutes without conceding a goal, and maybe there we saw why. The Smalling block, and then the wonder save from David De Gea. Alman Abdi could not believe his shot was not nestling in the corner of the net. Southampton against Stoke City. Team news now with John Southall.
3 changes for Southampton. Cedric Suarez, Shane Long and Victor Wanyama all in for Yoshida, Ward-Prowse and Sadio Mane. Not surprisingly, Stoke City are unchanged from the side that beat Chelsea.
Thank you, John. Here are Manchester United leading just by 1-0 away at Watford on 5 Live. The ball's on the far side with McNair for Manchester United. We haven't really mentioned those changes. Neom off, Paredes on. He gets forward more down the right-hand side from right back for Watford. And in fact, it looks as though we might be playing on the side of the pitch, on the near side in the midfield area, having looked at it more carefully. Very troublesome sun in our eyes here still, David. You can't quite picture who's where at times.
And the other thing, Watson got a yellow card when he hauled Ashley Young back on that right-hand side. Madley took a yellow card for Watson, so Watson just has to be a little bit careful.
First yellow of the game that was for Ben Watson. Swansea City against Bournemouth is our latest port of call for the team news. Juliet Ferrington is there.
And it's all changing at Swansea. No Hernandez, Montero, Sigurdsson and Gomez. Norton, Routledge, Britton and Edda come in as Gary Monk looks for an upturn in form. They're really struggling for goals right now, Swansea. 1 change though for Bournemouth. 2 out of sorts teams going head to head. Bournemouth making 1 change from the defeat against Newcastle. Steve Cook comes back replacing Smith at right back.
It's to United's credit, you know, that they've had to change the back players with the changes they've had to make, with Jones going off, Herrera in the first half. It's now a 3-man back line of McNair, Smalling and Rojo. But once again, Ashley Young, who was, I thought, the main attacker in the first half, going down the right, is foraging down that side, attacking the Dutch left-back, Aki, on that very far side. I have to say, too, You ought to say that Mata has controlled so much of the midfield play when he's got the ball off Schneiderlin or Schweinsteiger. He really has been a very cool, calm passer, very accurate in everything that he's done, Mata, in that centre field position.
Well, 17 minutes remaining. Manchester United have a corner. They need a second goal, you feel, to put this game away. It is 1-0 to Manchester United. They've been under quite a bit of pressure. They've relied on David De Gea a couple of times now. In comes the corner towards Schweinsteiger at the near post. It's cleared away. And it comes to Paredes, who's leading the charge forward now for Watford, and he's clipped down. He was fouled there by Ashley Young. That was very cynical by the former Watford man. They're not very sympathetic to him round here. Off is the cry, but that was close to the halfway line. It will be just a yellow card for Ashley Young, but that was what they call a tactical foul, I suppose, David. And it's a yellow card as well for Lingard for something he did earlier, which the referee spotted.
Yep, 2 yellows there for United as Watford hurl themselves forwards in an attempt to get back into this game. While it's 1-0, it's still a tenuous lead for United. They have looked the better side. Of course, Watford have had more of the game in this second half. They were bound to have. They were very anemic in the first half by their standards. But this half, 2 very fine saves by De Gea, a brilliant block by Smalling, have denied the home team.
Watson with a free kick curled to the edge of the United box, headed away again by Smalling for Manchester United. Paredes with the long locks, the dreadlocks, has got possession on the near side for Watford. Now it's Anya. Back to Cathcart, the Northern Ireland international, plays it forward, looking for Igala. Will it bounce for him inside the penalty area? Deeney with a shot straight into the gloves of David De Gea.
Chance.
De Gea did not have to move a muscle to make that save.
A chance. It fell kindly to the centre forward, and he just had to strike it really either side of the Spanish goalkeeper, straight into his midriff. A fierce shot, well held, but what a chance for Deeney.
It's the first time we've really seen that link-up and that twin menace of Igalo and Deeney right next to each other, posing problems.
Yes, it's as though Watford have just woken up a little bit too late. Looked as though they were almost in awe of the...
Well, they've still got 15 minutes.
Yes, they've still got time.
It is 1-0 though to Manchester United. The ball is with Rojo inside his own half. Clips it forward for United. Cathcart clears easily. United with another injury problem, with Phil Jones having gone off. Ander Herrera went off as well. Remember, Martial and Carrick and Fellaini all injured, and Shaw and Rooney out with an illness. They're hoping he will be available to play in Europe on Wednesday. And now we see, I think it's Schneiderlin going into a rather rash challenge on Etienne Capoue, and it's another free kick for Watford.
And just previously, Schweinsteiger was lucky not to get a yellow. 2 rather rash tackles by the 2 holding midfield players. The strength often of the United side. There's Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin very strong in the centre there, protecting their centre-backs, but fouling twice in succession.
With a free kick deep into the penalty area. Schweinsteiger will hook it away for Manchester United, but Watford are just sensing there's something for them here, and but for De Gea they would have been level, I'm sure. And now Ashley Young has impeded his man over on the far side, and the free kick actually has been given the other way to Manchester United. It was a clash between him and Ake, and Ashley Young seems to have taken a bit of a bump, so there will be a delay, which gives us a chance to check in on the latter stages of Bristol City against Hull in the Championship with Simon Mann.
Well, in the last 5 minutes, it's still Bristol City 1, Hull City 1. That equaliser from Sean Maloney in the 73rd minute. Bristol City hanging on, Hull asking all the questions. Diame fired wide, so close. He's been excellent today, set up Maloney's goal as well. It's Bristol City 1, Hull 1.
Thanks, Simon. We'll be straight back there if that changes. Remember, Middlesbrough scored a dramatic late winner with a penalty in stoppage time in the Championship match last night to move up to 3rd in the table. And here come Manchester United with Memphis. It was a loose header by Anya. It falls for Memphis, but he's wide inside the penalty area. Checks in field onto his right foot. Can he pick a pass? He lobs it across. It could fall for Lingard, but instead, off his line, it's Gomez. The Brazilian, the former Tottenham goalkeeper, who's had a much better afternoon, clears away to the halfway line. Schweinsteiger controls it well for Manchester United, the German World Cup winner. And now it's Blind. And on to Memphis, who tries to play one over the top, looking for Lingard, but he was just offside. And it's a free kick for Watford. which needs to be taken from the right place. David, please.
Yeah, the crowd roared there because Watford were in possession. Watson had the ball, clear possession, but Madley pushes them back, the referee, so that Watford get punished. It allows United to get behind the ball, where Watford tried to take advantage with a quick free kick. I would have allowed play to continue there. The referee pulls them back, much to the annoyance of the Watford crowd.
Well, the Manchester United supporters are a little bemused to my right-hand side by a substitution that is just being made by Louis van Gaal, the playmaker. Juan Mata is going off, and on comes the 19-year-old Andreas Pereira, the Belgian-born Brazilian, who has scored a goal this season against Ipswich in the League Cup and has just signed a new contract with Manchester United, but Mata goes off just when he felt they needed a controlling presence.
Yeah, he was very good, Mata.
Why has he gone off though, David?
Well, he's gone off because he probably wants a little bit more energy as they come under pressure, which they will do in the last 12, 13 minutes of this game. You know, Watford are going to bang that ball up the field. They're going to try and put pressure on, and he may feel that Mata's creative talents now can be, you know, just rested, and they want some more energy to compete in that centre of the field.
It's a slightly unfamiliar Manchester United team in forward areas at the moment, not one you would have predicted a couple of weeks ago, with Lingard, Memphis back, Pereira in there as well, plus of course McNair at the back, with injuries biting, though Mata did not appear to be injured. He walked off in a sensible fashion. He wasn't moaning about it when or two of the Manchester United supporters were booing as the ball is hit long by Manchester United out for a Watford goal kick. We're approaching the final 10 minutes at Vicarage Road on 5 Live from the BBC. Watford 0, Manchester United 1. Manchester United 10 minutes away from going to the top of the table ahead of the 3 o'clock games.
Yeah, Watford certainly got enough pace on this right-hand side. Anya's gone to right back now. If he can get forward to support Paredes down this right-hand side, where Danny Blint, who was Zaley Blint, who was the left-sided wing back attacking, Rojo is the left-sided centre back. If they can attack Daley Blint, who doesn't have the best of pace, then Watford might get a chance of making another opportunity for Deeney. Deeney's had a couple of good efforts this half.
Ashley Young is down at the moment on his haunches, and he is going to require some treatment. And a reminder that Louis van Gaal has made all 3 changes for Manchester United now. So if there is a problem with Ashley Young, who's taken a bang on the head, I believe it was that earlier incident when there was that coming together, wasn't there, with...
Well, it was like an obstruction, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It was like an obstruction. And I think, from this angle, of course, and the referee's much closer than us, I thought that should have been a free kick, certainly for Watford. Indeed, I thought it might have been a yellow card for Young, which would have seen him dismissed.
Sent off, yeah.
Obviously, the referee thought better of that. He might have had it in the back of his mind when Young's getting roundly booed. Of course, he was a credit to this club before he went to Aston Villa for a good fee. But it always happens, of course, when the players come back and they are successful elsewhere. They seem to cast envious eyes on them and see them as some kind of enemy. But he was a Watford player. He was a Watford lad.
Well, I told you about Jesse Lingard being booked a few moments ago. The official reason for that was kicking the ball away after an offside decision was given against him. Ashley Young is off the pitch, but I think for just a few seconds he's on again. They were slightly concerned about concussion, but he's holding the side of his face, and he is back on the pitch. Ashley Young playing on the right-hand side of defence stroke midfield for Manchester United in this game. They're 9 minutes away from a 6th consecutive clean sheet, and again, as we said in the first half, it's been a solid Manchester United display. They've defended well when they've needed to, they've relied on De Gea when they've needed to, and he is Mr. Reliable these days in the Manchester United goal. And at the moment it looks as though that early smash, that early goal after 11 minutes by Memphis might be the only one of the game. 8 minutes remaining at Vicarage Road. The ball with Capoue on the far side. He sets Troy Deeney on his way. Deeney can't keep it in play close to the corner flag. He thinks he has, but the flag is up, and that will be a Manchester United throw. Let's go to the Hawthorns now. Team news ahead of West Bromwich Albion against second in the table Arsenal. Pat Murphy watching this game for us this afternoon.
Koscielny and Giroud will start. Arsene Wenger was worried about their psychological makeup in the event of the Paris atrocities, but they're there. Coquelin also starts with Debuchy and Flamini on the bench. There are 5 French players in the squad. As for West Brom, Jonas Olsen comes in for the suspended Macaulay.
Thanks, Pat. Round the ground starts, of course, at 3 o'clock. We'll have... Well, here's Lingard from Manchester United. Oh, it was a poor effort. The goal was gaping beyond Aurelio Gomez. It just needed a gentle lob over the Brazilian goalkeeper as he came off his line. Instead, it was just gently planted into the goalkeeper's gloves, and that is a huge let-off for Watford, and particularly their goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a shame for Lingard. From his point of view, great opportunity to get the decisive second goal. Wonderful opportunity. Straight into the grateful Gomez's hands.
Just a little clip over his head and that would have been 2-0.
It looked so simple.
It did from here. The attendance, by the way, 20,702, just over 2,000 Manchester United fans at the Vicarage Road end. And I think they'll be more than satisfied to hear the full-time whistle, with Manchester United on the back foot in the second half. Disrupted, of course, again by injury problems. Phil Jones off. Ander Herrera off. Juan Mata taken off, we think, without an injury. Those the changes made by Van Gaal, and Ashley Young not looking 100% comfortable over on the far side. He just delayed the taking of a throw-in, was roundly booed again, and of course he's on a yellow card. He doesn't want to get another yellow card for time wasting, or else that would be an early end to his afternoon. Here comes Pereira with a sliding challenge. Andreas Pereira, not to be confused with Ander Herrera, of course. Andreas Pereira, one of the youngsters breaking through at Manchester United. Another couple of the academy players are on the bench, in Sean Goss and Marcus Rashford. We won't be seeing them today, but Louis van Gaal is happy to promote them, although perhaps needs must with so many injuries around the Manchester United camp. It would be a feather in their cap to go top, I suppose, under those circumstances. Into the second third of the season we would be at the end of this weekend's fixtures. Now the referee has pointed to the spot and he has given Watford a penalty. Manchester United cannot believe this. They are surrounding referee Bobby Madley, but he has pointed towards the spot. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red-shirted Manchester United players around the referee disputing the decision. Schweinsteiger pleading innocence, but it's a penalty. David, did you see what happened there?
No, but I can tell you this, there'll be a fine for United for surrounding the referee there. 4 or 5 of them. Whether he thought the challenge came in from behind, I'm not quite sure. There was a little bit of holding. There was a slight touch. It was Rojo.
Rojo it was on Igalo. Igalo went flying.
Yeah, Igalo with his back to goal.
It was a little hack around his heel from behind. I can see why the referee has given it. Now, Troy Deeney has never scored for Watford in the Premier League at Vicarage Road. He is now taking on David De Gea from the penalty spot away to our right-hand side. A chance for Watford to draw level and puncture this Manchester United defence, which has been so solid for so long. Troy Deeney on his right foot comes up and scores! Down the middle, and Watford are level with 4 minutes remaining. Manchester United cannot believe the awarding of the penalty. Troy Deeney does not care, and he scores his first Premier League goal here on his home patch to make it Watford 1, Manchester United 1. You cannot deny Deeney. Deeney, the cry around Vicarage Road.
Yeah, he's a great hero here, and he put that away in emphatic style. He drove it with his right foot. He put his laces right through the ball. The pace of the ball sheared past De Gea, who's had a good second half. It's as though Watford finally awoke from the slumbers of the first half. They played with pressure in the second half. They haven't played particularly well, but they have played with a determination in this second half and finally get an equaliser.
Manchester United have gone 640 minutes without conceding, but now they have. It's Watford 1, Manchester United 1. And Watford have grown stronger and stronger through the second half. Juan Mata was taken off by Manchester United. We're sure it wasn't an injury. I said they needed to continue with his controlling presence, surely, and Manchester United now have lost the grip that they had on the game, by and large. De Gea beaten from the spot by Troy Deeney. It is 1-1. Manchester United will not be going top if it stays like this. And a look at the watch will tell us that we are into the final 2.5 minutes. The award of the penalty came from the referee without him hardly thinking. He just pointed straight to the spot even before Watford had appealed for anything. It was Rojo coming in messily from behind on Igalo. He clipped his left ankle. He didn't make contact with the ball. We've seen the replay, David. Do you think it was a penalty?
Well, it is. Madeley was on the spot, and you have to give credit to the referee to making a very decisive, quick decision. He thought maybe there was a little bit of holding from behind on the Watford forward, and maybe that was justified. You've always got a chance if you're a forward and you receive the ball in your box with your back to goal with a defender up your back. There's always a chance that if you try and turn him, that he'll catch you, or he will be caught holding. He's trying to stop you turning. Igalo did well there.
Yeah, he did. He did. It wasn't a dive. That's one thing I can say for certain. There was contact. The yellow and black flags are flying behind the stand away to our left-hand side at the Rookery end. We'll be going to Bristol City in a second. It's a corner for Manchester United. Full time. Quickly, Simon Mann.
It's finished 1-1. Hull controlled the second half. Home side happy to settle for a point after Maloney had equalised in the 73rd minute. Agard put Bristol City ahead in the first half. They were hanging on at the end. Bristol City 1, Hull 1.
Hull leads the championship by 1 point as things stand. Corner for Manchester United on the near side. It is 1-1. Final minute of the 90. We'll watch out for the fourth official. Corner taken by Pereira into the centre of the goal. Oh, it was an effort by Smalling. And what a save by Gomez. Smalling got a toe end to the ball. It was careering up into the top corner of the net, but Gomez got away to his right to claw it out, and it's another corner for Manchester United. We'll speak to David in a moment. Here's Pereira. He takes it back to Blint. He's 30 yards out from goal. Plays it into a Smalling with a back heel. Here's Memphis. Oh, the ball is nicked off Memphis by Watson, but Manchester United still pressing. Pereira down the near side. Low ball in. Lingard with a shot. Saved by Gomez. Schweinsteiger turns it back in, and it's in the net. And Sebastian Schweinsteiger has scored for Manchester United, squeezing it in at the far post. That is surely the winner to take Manchester United to the top of the Premier League. The German has his first goal for the Old Trafford club. Watford could not contain United from the corner. It's Watford 1, Manchester United 2.
Oh, football. What a game. Incredible. And it was Deeney who was trying to keep that ball out on the line as Schweinsteiger managed to squeeze that ball in from the tightest of angles near the byline. It looked as though United pressing forward with lots of bodies in the box after that corner kick came in, and when the ball came across, Gomez deflected it. Schweinsteiger had almost nothing to aim at, and I think it was Deeney who's deflected the ball into his own goal as that ball was pushed across from an almost impossible angle by the German midfielder.
Are we going to be cruel? Are we going to be cruel and say Deeney own goal?
It's got to be Deeney own goal. There's no way Schweinsteiger could have got that ball in himself from there.
Desperate moments then for Troy Deeney. Schweinsteiger claiming the goal, darting away in wild celebration back to the halfway line. But the final touch to take the ball over the line came from Troy Deeney. Otherwise it was going to go square, wasn't it? Across the goal line from Schweinsteiger. And Deeney's intervention did just touch it over the line. Deeney himself was over the line, staring at the ball in disbelief. It is Watford 1, Manchester United 2. Schweinsteiger will try and claim it. But I think if you look in the papers tomorrow, after some analysis, it will be Deeney having scored at both ends in this game. And as you say, football, David, please.
Yeah, incredible, and that's what makes the game so fascinating, so exciting. You can never tell what's going to happen next. United really threw players forward after that equaliser. They felt hurt. They thought that it was an unfair decision when Deeney slammed that penalty into the net. They stormed forward. They got a lot of bodies in the box. Gomez had made a brilliant save, incidentally, to force the corner. He went to his top corner to palm the ball away, and it was from the resultant corner. Once again, Gomez making a good save, but he couldn't quite get the ball behind him into touch. He kept it in play, and then, of course, Schweinsteiger was on hand to make the score 2-1 with the help of Deeney.
It came just as the fourth official was on the near touchline, showing that 4 minutes would be added on. So the goal comes after just 90, or exactly 90 minutes, and we've still got Let me work it out. 1 minute 30 seconds of stoppage time to be played here at Vicarage Road, and Manchester United, after all, could well be going top of the table in the Premier League for a second time this season. It might be short-lived, depending on the later results. Here's Paredes for Watford, who are now staring at a fifth defeat of the season. Paredes has taken a throw straight into the face of Daley Blind, who stays down. Watford coming forward. Anya with a cross towards the far post. Ake's in there. And here's Igalo with a shot on the turn, straight at De Gea. And you might hear the Watford fans in front of us thumping the front of our commentary position in anger.
Well, they've gone from jubilation to desperation, the Watford supporters in front here. They were absolutely jumping jacks a few minutes ago when Deeney struck that penalty. Then, head in the hands, another injury for United. You have to say United, whatever the philosophy of the manager may be, this game today has nothing to do with philosophy. It's been a dramatic last few minutes. I do feel United, who dominated the first half, have done well because they have to change their team so many times because of alterations due to injuries. When you think that they finished with Pereira, McNair and Rojo on the field, shorn of Mata, Jones and Herrera, who started the game, and with absentees like Rooney, Martial, Carrick, Valencia and Shaw, you have to say that Van Gaal will look at this game and he might say it's one for his philosophy, but I'd say it's one for his slight good fortune in the second half when Watford awoke out of their slumbers and started to compete. And in the end, we had a decent game. First half quiet.
Win games,
second
that's
half
a good philosophy. Good. Win games, even in adversity. And Manchester United are more or less doing that here because we're beyond the 4 minutes. There was a little bit of extra time because of Daley Blind's injury. Here's Pereira for Manchester United to Memphis, wide inside the penalty area to the dead ball line. In comes a cross. Anya needs to clear. He does. It is 2-1 to Manchester United. We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. 4 were added on, remember. And there is the full-time whistle, and Manchester United go to the top of the Premier League. 2-1 in dramatic circumstances. A Deeney penalty made it 1-1, and then it has to go down as an own goal by Troy Deeney to give Manchester United the spoils. Cruel match for Troy Deeney.
Well, it certainly was very exciting, particularly towards the end. Controversial penalty, and then that that winner right in the last minutes when United had dominated the first half, completely affected the play with Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger in midfield, with Mata passing the ball much better than Watford. The swirling wind, I think, was a handicap to Watford in the first half. In the second half, they pushed up, they competed, they forced mistakes, they did much better. De Gea in the United goal was terrific at all times, did everything that was required of him, only beaten by a penalty. United flying.
Yeah, full-time. Watford 1, Manchester United 2.
Somebody will be able to tell us if there's ever been less time between somebody scoring at both ends of the field. Quite extraordinary. David Peters, you say today it's nothing about tactics, it's all about desire. Yes, so if you're a Manchester United fan, you're thinking, well, there's more than one way to win a match.
Yes, absolutely. They were very strong right from the word go. They were worried probably about the missing of Rooney today. I thought Ashley Young in the first half was very good down the right-hand side, and they got him away quite easily. Watford didn't manage to plug that gap well enough. But yes, you're right, Mark. It was desire, determination, and certainly no one put their heads down when Deeney equalised. They still believed, even though there was only a couple of minutes to go, that they could even restore that lead. They threw men forward, and they got their reward.
They did indeed. You can hear what it means to the Manchester United fans. They're top of the league. Thank you to David Peter and to Ian Brown at Vicarage Road. And reaction to come. Manchester United top of the Barclays Premier League.